Smaller companies in the food, manufacturing and built environment sectors can now access one-step innovation hubs at polytechnics. 2 centers of innovation are now helping SMEs in these industries develop, test and bring new products to market. Richard Matthew tells us more.
This is no ordinary kitchen space. It's a research hub, workshop and test bed all in one, known as a Center of Innovation or COI. Here, students at Temasek Polytechnic get to work on projects like creating food for seniors who have difficulty chewing or turning leftover grains into pasta. Now SMEs in the food manufacturing sector can get in on the action. For Cosmod Health, it means access to what the agri-food startup needs to make its noodles for diabetics.
So we are grateful to the COIs because they have all these equipments and we can use it, sometimes free, sometimes at a very nominal fee.
The company can also access both brain power and manpower, the other key ingredients in its recipe for success.
We work with the students, provide them with the protein fiber materials, and then they become our brain and our hands to play with it and see what kind of functional food they can create from it.
Temasek Poly is also working with Ngee Polytechnic to set up a new center of innovation for robotics and automation in the built environment sector. Trade and Industry Minister Gan Kim Yong announced the 2 centers during an annual tech event.
We recognize the challenges faced by SMEs to develop their own in-house R&D capability and facilities. Hence, these COIs offer access to specialized equipment, labs, and training for product and process innovation.
These 2 centers come under an Enterprise Singapore program to help nurture and grow local SMEs. They bring the total number of COIs to 12.
We hope to be able to reach out to over 2,000 SMEs and develop over 400 innovation projects with them in the next 2 years by end 2025 and hopefully capture these opportunities for our SMEs.
The other COIs include sectors like electronics, energy, environment and water.
And besides efforts to help SMEs, another key highlight of the Singapore Week of Innovation and Technology, or SWITCH, is a global competition for innovative ideas called Slingshot. And the winner is Thermolytica, a company working on material solutions to lower carbon footprint. We have with us Mr. Rudder Wu. He's founder and Chief Technological Officer of Thermolytica. And also here with us is Cindy Ngiam. Now, she's Director of SWITCH, the organizer. All right, Mr. Wu, you've got a component of what helped you win this prize in front of you. Could you explain to us what it is?
Yes, so basically we are a Japan-based startup, two years into operation, and we have come out with innovative thermal insulation materials that is having the ability to do a thermal switching. So traditionally materials, thermal insulation materials are solid materials. Even though we have a solid state materials, this material has the ability to flow like a liquid. And we believe that having the ability to make switching opens a new chapter for many innovative designs.
Very quickly, my colleague Don mentioned it's to help lower carbon footprint. If you very succinctly tell us how this helps lower carbon footprint as a thermal insulation material.
Yes, so traditionally there are 2 approaches to, for example, address global warming problems. The first one is, of course, making transition to renewable energy, but that is a long-term gradual transition. So we focus on more providing immediate solution. That is to help companies and households maximize their thermal efficiency so they can, so lowering the entire energy consumption.
Okay. We're all fascinated by what's in that jar, Rudder, right now. But Ms. Ngiam, bringing you into the conversation now, it's a rigorous process to look all over the world for innovative ideas. Tell us the motivation behind what Slingshot is all about.
So Slingshot is actually a startup competition where we scout around the world to look for new and innovative solutions that can help transform industry. So this year we had about close to 4,700 application that's come from all over the world. They actually go through quite a vigorous process, 3 rounds of judging. The judges are coming up to 350 international venture capitalists, corporate investors, and they make through so many rounds to reach the top 50, where at the Singapore Week of Innovation and Technology, they actually compete as a domain finalist and eventually emerge as top 10, where today they went through the grand final, where of course our winner emerged out of it.
All right, green transition, that's whether finance or, for example, even material science, like what you're doing right now, that is, I suppose, the hot topic of the day. But does that mean that it's necessarily easier to get funding with you winning this prize on the premise that it actually helps reduce carbon footprints?
Yes, certainly. Slingshot, having the recognition from Slingshot, that certainly helps us to carry out our next fundraising. Yes, I believe that we can celebrate tonight, and tomorrow we have to demonstrate that to actually deliver the ability to lower the energy consumption for our clients, and the traction is very important, to demonstrate to our potential investors in the future.
Ms. Yam, the innovation that Rudder and the company has actually come up with has that green element. I mean, it lends itself to our carbon emissions story and lowering our carbon footprint and so on. Was that one of the criteria that the judges actually looked at?
I think when we were looking for winners that will come out of Slingshot, we essentially look at 3 different components. Number 1, what is that market potential and business feasibility? How huge a market are we trying to address with that solution? Number 2, we look at technical depth. What is the IP and the technology that is behind that startup that can actually differentiate them in a very competitive landscape that we're seeing? And last but not least, we look at founders. How are the founders coming together, and whether they have the capability to, push forward that idea and that great business plan that they have pitched on that stage.
Oh, Mr. Wu, I take it you do the work you do not because you want to win prizes, but of course it's one of the added benefits of doing good work is you might actually win recognition and prizes for it.
Yes.
Contests like these, how big a part do they play in people like you coming up with genuinely innovative ideas?
Oh yes, it's a very important momentum for us. I actually came from academic background, so for me it's actually to start a business, based on what I've been carrying out the research 20 years ago. Yes, so the recognition certainly helped us to push further the technology. Yes, thank you.
And a quick final question for you, Ms. Yam. A Slingshot is just one way to promote innovation, of course. How does Singapore actually benefit from this global search for innovation?
So I think the platform that Slingshot can put together for startups is to give them a platform where they can access essentially 3 things: access to capital, access to talent, and access to market opportunities. We believe that that platform is actually addressing all the different growth components that will help them scale from Singapore and access the market around the region that will continue to drive their growth.
All right. Thank you, both of you, for coming in to talk to us, and congratulations once again, Rudder, on this wonderful achievement. Rudder Wu from Thermalytica and grand winner of this year's Slingshot, and Cindy Yam, director of Switch.